Boom. All right. So we are just about wrapped up with this sprint. This one is the biggest piece that's in work right now, and it's just a product creation screen. Right now, you can create products, but you have to do it in the backend DB, and that's just not a good user experience. So there'll be a button here, right on the far side of current inventory, that when you click it, you'll be able to have a pop-up window, enter your stuff, and move on. I'm going to see if I have time to add some validation, but these are text fields and financial fields anyway. So they're already listed with a pretty forgiving varchar out there, and this does not care what gets pulled back. These all work. So total number of items in inventory, total number of users in the system, were they added today, how many new products were added today. So as soon as we add those, and this was included in the last demo as well, these already work. The last two, I did have to get rid of the US chart just because I was going to pipe it in through Google Analytics, and Google Analytics no longer lets you pull that information into a nice little pretty chart. So I had to ditch that one, but I don't really think it added or took away much from what was here. Um, oh, we did update the colors, so we updated a couple of the colors of the cards, and then we've got the ability to change the background colors. Boom, light mode. Yeah, make it pretty. And back to dark mode, because that's where it should be.
I would agree. So, how many software developers does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh, depends
Nobody
on how many of them
knows.
know CSS.
Nobody knows because they prefer dark mode.
That makes sense.
I thought you were going to
I
go with
get
it was a hardware problem.
it.
All right, so it looks like everything's in progress. We pretty much just had, I think these ones are pretty self-explanatory. Scott, is there any additional work that is going on the new error message and minimum password requirements on the UI?
No, that's what I was going to ask you about. Like I said, I was able to, to do that. I don't know if I broke the code or not. For when someone tries to register. But I was going to ask you if you want me to continue working on the password complexity problem with the length of characters.
Yeah, I'd say go ahead. When I tried it out, it did seem to break registration. So want to put just 8 character min.
Okay.
I mean, if that works for you, that should let you wrap that, and that should be it, and we can get that merged through.
All right. So
Yeah. So since we have a minute here, let's go have a look at the code, just so we can see what it looks like, and maybe we can mob program on it, give you some advice, or would you rather work it solo?
maybe give me some advice. That'd be fine. I mean, if you guys have a little bit of time.
Yeah, this shouldn't take too long at all. 30. Plus, it'd be good to give these guys some insight on React. I know it can be a bit interesting. All right, so we'll do a quick pull request, and we're going to say pull request on new, and we're going to say password complexity branch. Oh, here we go. So the nice part about this is that it will show you everything that's going on here. So this is all the new code. So if you guys haven't done a pull request before, this is what you can see. So it looks like you changed the onChange from a set state, whereas updating the state internally to onChange handle first name change, the function, and is on input new? Yeah, on input's new.
Yeah, you know what? The problem that I had is that you can't incorporate two on changes. So you already had yours, and I needed to put on change to validate each field, unless there's another way that I could have done that. So what I did was I commented out you're on change just to show you I was able to do this, but what else can I possibly have done?
In this case, what you would usually do is pull this. So this was originally just setting the set state function that's passed in. So you would add a new function up here, kind of like what you did, and have that where it is doing that, still handle that name change. The only problem that I can see with the on input is on input will only register for new lines added. So if somebody starts typing, makes a mistake, and deletes the character, it will not remove that character from what is set in state.
Okay.
So that would be the problem. So we'll have to we still drop the on input, but inside of handle last name change, just have the first line be set state. So
Okay.
and that should take care of it for you at that point. Because then you get rid of the on input altogether, have this do the same job as setting the state here, and you're golden.
All
And
right. I'm writing this down. Okay.
yeah, and then did it have a message feedback or okay? So you're using the text box at that point to say by default username required, last name required.
Right.
Did it have anything that came back and it's like, hey, like error that this was not acceptable, or did we have an error message here?
No, I didn't do any error messages. Basically, it was just that it wouldn't let you submit the registration form if none of the fields were if they were empty.
Oh, so there's actually a pretty cool way to do that too. There on the button, on the very default button, there's actually a prevent default option. So if it has not changed for anything in the form, it won't let you continue.
Okay.
So that is in the future. That is a easy way of going about it. What you did
Wow.
is close to working, and pretty much just there. So if you want to spend some extra effort on it, awesome.
Okay.
If not, we set default. So I mean, if we want to add a password requirement, it would be pretty easy to do. We just need to make sure that submissions still work. Don't want him to go test our registration page and then not be able to register, you know?
That would have saved me a lot of time.
Yeah,
right,
well, yeah, that's the so on the React Studio. Has anyone else actually worked on React here?
Nope.
That
No.
yeah, it's not that bad, but it is a lot to swallow up front, especially if you're just used to like regular apps. Um, so it starts out with like a basic root object, then redirects space to components. Those components can be anything that is defined. So you just got your routes here, like an auth admin and the admin dashboard pages, which then feed into these either types of components or a type of view. So here's like the dashboard view, and this is the actual dashboard page. So every time it's loaded, it will do this little section retroactively for async. It's like, hey, has the website loaded?
Are you sharing your
Otherwise,
screen right now?
yeah.
I cannot see it.
I was saying the same thing. I can't see it either.
Oh,
Yeah,
what screen am I showing?
nothing.
Oh God.
See, I was getting confused because you kept saying this or here or that, and I'm like, I don't know if you're supposed to be showing your screen or not.
That is embarrassing. Sorry, ma'am.
No, you're good. So there we go.
Okay. So basic of a UI project, and they're usually you can see them by the package.json file, kind of a giveaway that it's UI or JavaScript at the very least.
Okay.
So what actually loads, the only HTML in this entire project is in the public index.html. What's happening is that when React starts up, it is grabbing that root object and replacing all the stuff you're doing with this. If you've got JavaScript disabled, if you ever, play around with some security settings, it just says you need to enable JavaScript to run this application. Nothing else will work otherwise. So as soon as the actual Node.js or like the Node app starts up, it is taking that root object that was in that HTML file and injecting everything else. It's injecting the views, and this is React Router. So it is saying on these pages, like redirect to these things. In our case, then we can then look at like the dashboards where it's like view dashboard here. And this is a React component, so this is where all that goes. The very core of those components is a render statement. And in our case, we check to see, hey, do you have a token? Nope. Redirect to auth login. Otherwise, if the UI is like all ready to go, but the API hasn't responded, let them know the site is loading. Our stuff returns so quite fast that I've never actually seen loading, but it should. Otherwise, return the actual content of what is supposed to be returned. Um, this is still because we have a lot of kind of stuff that probably shouldn't be here. In ideal React state, it should be this. Like the entire users added today cart and that entire card is literally that one line. That is just pulling in another React component with render statements to say what to build. Same for like total shipment, where it's just, where that one is still fake, so we want to change that around. But those two are now most of the code that's represented here. But yeah, so that's kind of the core. And then on any of the pages, we can look at like the register page, and it's going to do kind of the same things. These like the notifications alerts are where you can actually have some of that user feedback. So you can use that to pipe things back to it. But just any class that is extending a React component, setting state or props or like internal variables. And then you've got, once at the very least, you'll have that giant render statement that says, okay, this is the actual page. And that, it then just gets wrapped up back to that source component, and you get your all-in-one page. The nice part about this kind of app is that once all of this is loaded, there isn't anything else to grab. All pages are loaded at the same time. So that's why you never really see, when you're clicking around on the sites, you don't see like standard reloads. Everything is just like instantaneous, right? Like you don't have anything else to do. Just very quick. Because it's not having to do a full, like any talk to the server or anything else. It's just there. So it's already local.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great for doom scrolling. Sites like Reddit where you don't want to have to reload things very often. And you're just loading things in the background. But yeah, so that's kind of that. So if you want to take another stab at it, see if there's anything else you want to add there, awesome. We'll just get that knocked out pretty quick, and we'll go from there.
Right.
Focus on the minimum requirement, and then if you need help with the notification, I can help you out last minute. I'm hoping to get this one done today, and then these two done by tomorrow, and be done with this.
All right.
Yep. Steve, I don't think we have anything on here for you at the moment. Is there any last minute scans or security stuff you want to do?
I mean, I can run the stuff again, but if we patched it already, I'm not sure what else to do.
You could try some pen testing or some SQL injection. See if you could get the logins to spit anything else back, or see if you can find a way into the app.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't done a sequel on there actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no worries. Give it a good couple attempts. I'll throw a story on here for you. Just update the card later on, and say what you tried and say what worked or didn't work.
Okay, sounds good. Is this our last scrum, or we got one more?
No, this is it.
Dang.
Went by so fast.
I know, right?
That is one thing I have liked about the schools. I like the 10-week courses when they're manageable courses. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it seems like you're moving pretty quick. It's not like you're sitting there for 4 months, 5 months at a time on a course.
Do you want to try? I'm going to give you one off the bat. I don't think it'll work, but you can give it a shot. Are you familiar with this one?
I can't zoom in. Sorry.
It is apostrophe or 1 = 1.
Oh yeah. I've seen. I've actually done a sequel before.
Perfect. Okay. Makes sense. All right, and I will assign that to you.
But yeah.
Yeah. Story points. How long do you think this is going to take for you to do? A couple attempts?
Oh, for me,
Yeah.
it won't take long.
Okay.
I don't know. Put down a couple hours, maybe. I don't know.
Cool. Gonna put down a 3. That should give you some good points there. Sprint 4, Signee, Steve, and perfect. Oh yeah, and we have to start adding priority. So this is priority normal.
I'd go maybe a step higher than that. If somebody could get in with a SQL injection, that could wreck our lives. So
Yeah, that does sound about right. Priority major. All right. Major it is. The password requirements is normal. Major for actually, I'm gonna change that down because I don't think the product breakdowns is as important as the page here. And then getting these templated, I'd say, are probably closer to major to get those moved. Okay. Uh, if I think that's it. You guys got anything else you want to
no, sir.
add? All right.
Negative.
Well, hey,
None.
it was great. It was great meeting with you guys. Really enjoyed working with you this semester.
Yeah, you
Same.
guys are awesome.
Yeah.
What we
Right.
can always just we can always just keep the group chat and throw memes in there every once in a while, just for old times.
Yeah. I mean, we've got that hackers corner that had some pretty good, cool tech stuff in it.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt to always just have a group of people around, just kind of around the country. I mean, who knows? Maybe one of us becomes really rich, and then we're like, hey, I need a pro